We each contain multitudes, not just the parts we're proud of, the healer, the teacher, the mystic, but the gambler, the trickster, the tyrant. Every archetype that has ever moved through human experience lives somewhere in you, in me, in all of us. And the shadow isn't the enemy. The light isn't the destination. The middle path, where you can hold the full range with compassionate awareness, that's where we actually get to know ourselves. I'm Kelly, a mystic, a scribe, and many other archetypes besides. And the devotion of my life is looking into this divine mirror of archetypes with full honesty and reflecting that compassion outward. Each video in this series takes one archetype from the Oracle by Carolyn Myss and opens it along 3 threads: the shadow or the low road we've walked, the light, the high road we're seeking or reaching for, and the middle path, the one that can hold both and carry us forward while we carry it along the path of self-mastery. This is the fullness of what it means to be human. This is the archetypal attunement. So jumping into today's archetype for our archetypal attunement is the gambler. This card is so wild and awesome. And the light attributes on this card: willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And the shadow attribute, which most people are probably familiar with, relying on luck rather than hard work. This is such a cool archetype to jump into as the first one I'm doing of this series, because I don't know if anyone's going to like these videos yet. I don't know if anyone's going to care about them, but what I do know is that it's something I want to do. So it's worth the risk. I'm willing to follow my intuition, even if there's this other critical part of my brain that doubts that anyone's going to care or that anyone's going to whatever, because I have to remember that that's not the point. It's not the point what the outcome is. And that's why this whole view is so cool right off the bat, before I even pull any cards about this. He's feeling his way around in the dark, this character. There's a blindfold here and they don't know, but they're still experiencing anyways. Because otherwise you could just sit here in the darkness and have nothing happen. And you'd just sit there with nothing happening. And you could be pretty confident that it would continue, that nothing would happen. But is that good? Is that safe? Or is that condemning yourself to experiencing nothing? So being a gambler at the light attribute is this is the way we come into the world. I mean, we come here incarnating on a gamble that we're going to experience something that was worth the experience, okay? Because at a soul level, we choose to incarnate and come here and be human. We choose to walk the line between divine and human. We choose, we choose to walk the tightrope line of experiencing what we do know in terms of gnosis. We know ourselves in gnosis terms. But on a human level, we're experiencing ourselves and this world and all of the rules and laws of it for the very first time in this ego identity. So when we incarnate, we take the gamble that the way we set it up, the way we stacked the cards for this incarnation's deck was for the benefit. Oh, I'm going to go with, yes, the Unveiled Tarot for this. That it was worth the benefit, that it was worth the gamble to come and live this life as the multiple archetypes that you are. I'm going to shuffle some cards from the from the Unveiled Tarot. Can you please give me, yes. King of Cups. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay. So this is the potential of mastery. We come and take the gamble that we're going to remember that our emotions are our navigation system. Because emotions are essentially the way that our intuition and our bodily, physiological, chemical, and other processes tell us how to interpret what's happening. So our emotions take all the information from the field, from the ocean, from the waves, from how big they are or not, and they send us these messages within us. that are not meant to rock our waves, but are meant to help us navigate, because we come in blindfolded. We come in blindfolded, and until we learn how to emotionally navigate using our emotions, that blindfold doesn't come off. And we're still walking blind. And even if and when once it does, we just learn to trust what we can't see, because there's always something further out in the distance. Even if the blindfold's been removed, you can only see with your human eyes for how far in front of you. So this is talking about using our emotions to learn how to navigate what is a risk worth taking and not. And if you listen to the introduction of this video, the whole point of this series is, again, to, yes, acknowledge that there's a light and a shadow, but to learn how to navigate the middle road, how to walk the middle path of this archetype. So, can you speak to that end? I feel like the King of Cups. Give me one more cup to that, or one more cup. Give me one more card to that end about walking this middle path. Oh, very interesting. Page of Cups. Okay. This is about containment. Oh, wow. Containment. It's about containing and controlling your excitement, but not too much control. Because if you, all right, so like, all these superstitions and all these things are coming into my mind about this. So people say, I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up. So I'll just never want or anticipate or let myself even think about taking the gamble of the thing that I want, because I'd rather not fill my hopes up so that I don't get let down. That is the low road of the gambler archetype, because you're never willing to take the risk to gamble on the thing that you want, because you're already living in the experience and the fear of experiencing more letdown. But you're already living it. You're already experiencing the letdown. You're already experiencing the not fulfillment and the denial of and the repression of whatever it is that you otherwise wanted to take a gamble on, because you think that it would lead to your emotional fulfillment. So this is the low road. I'm going to put it, I feel like this is the mastery, and this is the low road. So I'm going to put it here, if I can keep that visible. This is the low road of, like, you can't contain your excitement. You can't contain, and I mean hold it. Like, you can't allow yourself to hold it because it feels like it's going to slip through your fingers. But also, or people who gamble in excess to the point where it's like a debilitating addiction. This is like, you don't know when to contain yourself, when to contain your excitement, when to reel it in, when to hold it back, and to not let it spill out, or to hold it, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Know when to, whatever the rest of that song is. Let me get another card. And I'm going with the Wild Unknown Tarot, because the gambling is all about the unknown. So what's the high road? What's the high road that counterbalances that Page of Cups as the lack of containment? Oh my gosh, you can't make this stuff up. I can't make this up. This is Mother of Cups. Page of Cups, King of Cups, Mother of Cups. This is all about emotions, folks. The gamble. Is it worth it or not? And this Mother of Cups, look at it. She's holding her beautiful swan wing out over the cup, over it, saying, no, that's enough. Like, yes, I want it, but no, that's enough. Because this is about having emotional control. Very much like this is the master of your own sails in the King of Cups with the boat imagery. This is about knowing how much fulfillment you need, knowing how much satisfaction you want. And it's not about putting a limit on it. It's about putting a limit on what you're going to carry in your emotional field, how much of it you're going to hold on to, how much of it you're going to keep in, and how much you're going to indulge yourself. Because if this is alcohol, you better know when to say no. You better know when to stop. Otherwise, you're leading into inebriation that could be all sorts of crazy decision making, right? And or leading into more and deeper addictions. Wow, this is such a beautiful, full explanation. So to summarize this gambler archetype, to attune to it, to hit it in the middle, instead of alleging to the light or hiding from the shadow. We don't need to rely on luck rather than hard work. We do the hard work of understanding how our emotions are a navigation system for us that will encourage us to take the risks that are worth taking, and that will also inform us when we're trying to escape from ourselves or we're trying to avoid knowing how powerful we are. Because this is power. When you know what you feel and you know how to use it to navigate, you know how to hold and when to let go, you have power. You don't need to gamble. You don't need to take a risk. You don't need luck. You don't need luck when you have power. This is about gaining the power of your emotional awareness and control, but not control. Control is just, if you control a game, it's because you know the rules in which to play and you know the strategy. The strategy is listening to your emotions. The strategy is listening to how your emotions tell you this risk is worth taking or it's not. I don't have anything else to say. This is so straightforward. It literally lived this archetype out loud in these cards for me. I would love to know if you have had this archetype show up in your life, what that's like. If you've met the low road, if you've met the high road, because quite frankly, I live this archetype. There's a couple other ones that I pulled today that I'm going to make other videos on. So make sure you've subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, and like this video so the algorithm can let you know when the next videos are released, because I'm going to go one at a time with all of the cards through this deck. And this being the first one that came out is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in luck. I believe on knowing how to navigate, knowing how to master the archetypes that would otherwise lead our lives. And today, because I'm loud and clear in understanding on this gambler archetype, I'm okay being blindfolded. I'm okay knowing that I don't know all of the rules to the game of life on this earth, with all of the forces that co-create it, okay? But I know what the rules are to maintaining and compassionately navigating my own personal avatar human being, and that's all I need to know. So blindfold be damned, this life that I live is worth the risk because my emotions help me navigate, and I am so appreciative of that. Damn, I love this reading. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next one.